Hello and welcome to the Ireland Rugby Social. Gavin Andrews with Conor Murray, and we're in Cork with a great who happens to be one of your best mates. You can do the introductions.
Mr. Approachable himself, Peter O'Mahony, my great friend.
Your first gig, Murphy.
And we're honoured because we're in the famous shed, which in the world of social media is pretty special.
Yeah, it
Very
is.
lucky, aren't we?
Tell us about it.
lucky.
It's a proper man cave, this spot.
Yeah, it is. It's. I've been planning on doing something off here for a long time, so it's still in progress, but it's usable, very usable.
Can we see it?
Functional.
For those watching,
Yeah.
it is pretty impressive. For those listening, it's a bit of an escape for you. You've got 3 young kids, a very happy wife, and you're spending a lot of time now at home.
He hides up
Did
there.
they send you here? Or do
Spending
you?
a lot of time in the shed. No, the kids love it. They have their own stuff to do up here, and it's great. Like, obviously into the garden, and you know, it's, you know, looking after the place. It's nice not to have to look for stuff when there's something small to be done. So normally it's an easy job to find something and put it away again.
It's all done alphabetically and coordinated, so it's definitely easy to find.
You've nothing like this now?
No, not yet. When I move up further, I will have a shed.
Conor
like
will
this.
just pay someone to do it.
Yeah. Pete's going to design it for me, and then he'll come up and cut the grass and do all that.
Everyone knows about the gardening, and you've kind of become a bit of a celebrity in the gardening world now,
Jesus, I don't know about that.
which is frightening.
Yeah.
When did it all start? When was the interest? And is it a bit of an escape, I suppose, as well, in all seriousness?
Yeah, I've always loved it. My mum's grandmother had a kind of a nice little garden in Cork City that I used to love going out there, and there was when she got too old, there was a gardener came from Macroom, a lovely man, and I used to enjoy when he called and giving him a hand, and just the physical the manual labour of it. I enjoy that part, like, you know, and then the finished product of, you know, the place being tidy, and, you know, having people over for a barbecue, and just it being a nice place to be. You know, I think since COVID, people are starting to realise how important their outdoor space is, and you know, it was always a kind of thought of mine to get the place looking well.
In the world of sports psychology, are you someone who likes order then?
Yeah, I would be.
Connor's
I just know where these answers are going to go. Yeah, it's 100%
I don't
true.
know
Yeah,
what you're laughing at, like.
I am quite similar, but
Yeah.
you
No,
just
I
think
do.
it's-
I do like the place tidy. I like the place, you know, easy to use, and I like, you know, I like order in life. Yeah,
I
definitely.
think sports people are like that, aren't they? Well, some people aren't. Some sports people, you know,
Lots
are
of
very
them are, yeah.
much not like that, but a lot would be kind of particular.
Yeah.
So I've been told.
Are you particular?
Yeah, I would be
Absolutely.
very, very similar. Yeah.
You think this is bad? You want to see you go for breakfast in your man's house, he'd be cleaning up around you before you even started breakfast.
I was we were at my mother's last night for her birthday, and my son Alfie was like throwing food on the ground, and I got the dustpan and brush during the meal. I didn't even know, and my mother like lost it at me, and I just realised, I was like, well, I'll do it after the dinner. So yeah, we're a strange bunch.
Yeah.
And you two go way back, is that right? You're both 36, both the same age, so you must go way
Yeah,
back.
we are the same age. Lovely. Lovely.
Connor's
Someone said it. Yeah.
Each younger.
Connor's 6 months older than me, so
Yeah. We do. We go.
people are always shocked to hear that. I don't know why.
Yeah, we're the same.
You dye in
same,
the
same
hair, yeah?
generation. No, I had it worse. I was like, everyone assumed I was the same age as Johnny Sexton for years because we played together so much that he's 4 years older than me. So like when he retired, people started calling for my head at the same time. That's just,
It was Johnny's fault.
it was Johnny. He loved it. Loved it.
So memories of a first meeting on a rugby pitch, was it with Munster? Was it before school?
Oh no, school, yeah.
Go on.
The two of us.
That was.
We were
the
both
first
in
one.
fourth year in school, and we played each other in the senior cup final, actually, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
In Town Park, and we were both on the bench, and we stayed on the bench for
unused.
the match. Unused,
Unused
two unused
subs.
subs. Yeah, sitting across.
It was Keith Earls' show, really, wasn't it?
It was,
nothing to
really,
do with anyone
to be
else.
fair,
He
yeah.
walked the cup for us, but
Yeah.
unused.
But staring across at each other, giving each other a middle finger every now and then.
We had nothing else to do. We weren't going to be playing, so get our own
Just getting
match.
cold.
So there's a couple of guys out there who have stories about keeping you two on the bench.
Yeah.
Oh,
There would be,
yeah.
John Broderick is his name from Munster. Yeah, in case you're listening. I got no medal because of it.
Yeah. Did you not get a medal?
No,
You weren't
you
joking.
had to play to get a medal.
That is absolute.
So we queued
a
up.
hard lesson.
We queued up on the steps at Thomond Park, the whole team. I was just oblivious, so I was at the back. We were going by numbers, and one of the lads, I won't name him, but he skipped in front of our fullback. He was an unused sub too, and he got a medal. Yeah, you don't get
And
one.
they didn't give him to you afterwards.
No.
Oh,
Yeah, well, I didn't play 1 minute in the whole
that's appalling
campaign.
from the
Oh,
senior club's point of view.
Yeah, you should really.
Munsters probably have a load of them in a drawer somewhere. They just didn't bother giving them out to.
Yeah, it builds character. That kind of.
Someone in Munster schools is panicking at this point.
Yeah.
Was that a big schools rivalry, Limerick and Cork?
Yeah.
The rivalries are big, and it's it's a huge time for a young man at that age to win it, and there's big rivalries between teams. Yeah.
At what point did you blossom? Because Conor said on this programme before that he was a slow starter, late bloomer. What about
Very
you?
late.
That's questionable, but
No, you were
I was.
Irish schools.
I didn't play for. I was on the
Captain?
bench for the Munster schools.
Yeah, we both were again. Yeah.
And they made a bollocks of some game, and I think did we both start against Leinster then? Or did you not start?
No, you did. Yeah, I had to wait I had to wait a little bit longer.
Yeah, we beat Leinster in the last game, I think.
And then you went and played Irish schools, didn't you?
Yeah.
18s, yeah. So we were kind of ahead.
You caught up, like.
Got up eventually when we had to split to 19s clubs and schools.
Yeah.
So I left school obviously, and I played with the clubs, and that was my path through.
Oh, did you go to the clubs?
Yeah, I had to.
For the long way
People
around.
slag the clubs.
For
Like,
the
the clubs
way
are very important, and I had to. Yeah.
But you came back to the. Oh, so you didn't
Then
play Irish
20s,
schools?
and then we met up again
20s.
for 20s. Yeah. Yeah.
Jeez, I forgot that.
So I had to.
Irish schools
Take
there's no
lessons.
guarantee. Like there were a lot of guys. We spoke to one of them last week, Andrew Conway, who's a legend at school,
Yeah.
and then he had to do it the hard way for Munster.
Yeah, he did, but he was like, he was still very good. He was in a Leinster team, obviously that was kind of different level at the time, and he made a big decision to come down to us. But he was, as you said, very, very talented, and was always gonna carve a way through. I would imagine one way or the other.
And how do you burst through from schools to senior rugby and Munster then with some of the legends of the game kicking around? Certainly in the pack, you could imagine it might be a little bit different for some of the backs to break through.
I think it's hard for everyone to get into a senior team, as you said, particularly the team that we were trying to get into. They'd won in 06 and 08, and they were seriously up there when it comes to Europe, and it was just keep the head down and tip away, and I think 2011 more, for a late bloomer, was at the World Cup.
I caught up eventually. Then.
Yeah, he got up
and passed him
eventually.
out.
And passed me out. He was always about 10 caps ahead.
And ended up that
Very
way.
aware of that.
Wrecked my head, but so the lads went to the World Cup, and the guys that were left, there was a big chunk of us around our age, got kind of 4 or 5 games while the internationals were away. Back when kind of rugby was played, when international rugby was still on. It kind of all comes to a halt now when the international rugby is on. But it used to be a great window for young guys to get a run, and there was a big chunk of us got a run for Munster that year. We won 5 of 6. We should have won 6 out of 6, and
Remembers it obviously.
What happened?
I'd say you got a yellow card or something.
We won 5 out of 6, and it obviously the lads came back in and started, but
That was the start of it though, wasn't it?
if there was ever a moment like that, someone wasn't playing well or someone got injured, the coaches had confidence in us to fill in, and we got a shot. Yeah.
Was there a feeling at that time? Well, you saw probably the tail end of it at the end of your career, but is there a feeling when you're a young lad that every training session you have to have a shot at the title and impress and do your bit, or is it better to just keep the head down and work?
I like backs wise it's very hard, but I remember watching
He's in
early
the
days
trenches.
forwards units and stuff, and like it would be kicking off back then with like the old school characters, and then they have to
That's difficult. Like,
stand up. Yeah,
It's difficult, but
you got to earn the
you're
respect.
still competitive. You got to be very respectful of the guys that are there because of what they've done, but at the same time you're trying to figure out your own career.
As you
So
do,
there's you have to be competitive and you have to be physical, But at the same time, as I said, you have to respect the people that are there and what they've done in the jersey, and there's
Still
a
show
balance.
down with them though.
There's,
Still box the head off them.
there's a balance to be found, like. But most of those fellas you wouldn't be taking on at the best of times, to be honest. Just so.
That's actually true. Yeah.
Who were those names then that you wouldn't tackle at that
I'm
point?
not sorry, no, not that you wouldn't tackle, but
I don't mean. I mean tackle in my term of tackle, as in get wired into.
Oh,
there was probably very few of them, like, you know what I mean. But if it had to be done, you got stuck in, like, you know what I mean.
I hope your mates are with you.
Yeah. Hope there was a few fellas to kind of just dive in and.
Some of them just had an aura, I think, like some of the lads, like
Yeah,
Leams and loads of them. Paulie, obviously, number one, but like
Yeah.
they just had a respect and like this fear factor with them. And
Yeah.
I found it hard at the start because you looked up to them so much as well, didn't you? And then you're in a dressing room and then it's very.
Yeah. Leamy
You
was
have to get out of your way,
Leamy
like,
was
yeah.
a nasty bastard.
Yeah. That's kind of his
And he
lean.
has hands like shovels, like I seen him hit a few fellas at different times. There was plenty of guys, you know, went out of their way to look after us when we were younger, definitely, like, yeah.
At what point do you start becoming a leader in there? Because you became captain very early in your Munster career, didn't you?
Like 23,
23,
yeah.
I mean, if you're in at 20 and Paul O'Connell's there and there are legends around you,
Yeah.
there must have been a point where you felt like initially you become part of the group, then you become one of the figures people look to in it.
Yeah, we were, but you know, again, there was the respect that had to be there. There was our own ambition. You know, we'd seen that the guys had won a lot, so we were chasing that down as well. And that meant, you know, if that meant, you know, you were part of a leadership group or you were asked your opinion, you gave your opinion, and that was a very important part of, you know, any of the provinces, you know, but from our point of view, particularly Munster, because, you know, we need our academies to provide most of the players that we get, and you know, eventually these guys are going to lead and be very important, and you know, if it's you know, put on you to give your opinion and be one of the leaders, you know, that's what you do, and the more of those guys, the better.
Who influenced you in terms of leadership in that Munster group initially?
Well, the lovely thing about that is there was any amount of them were even potential captains. You had the obvious guys like Paul and Ronan, and you know, guys who were just natural leaders. But then you had guys like Leamy and you know, guys like Miko. For me, obviously Axel had just finished, but he had become my under-20 coach. Guys like Wally and Quinny were very important to me, you know, at the early part of my career. So, you know, at the time there was any amount of guys that you could turn to and you know, ask a question or just watch and see how they carried themselves.
It's like an easy dressing room to come into, but like a daunting one as well.
Yeah,
because they're so good and successful. It's probably easy to play with them, but then it's hard to kind of get your feet. Well, he quickly became a leader, but for certain people it's a bit tougher. Like, but I think
it was always daunting,
yeah,
regardless. I think because they were so
successful,
and you know, we grew up following them from a small young age. So, you know, that aspect of, you know, all of a sudden you're playing with guys who were, you know, you had posters up on your wall is mad. Like,
but once you play with them though, for me, I feel like once you play a few games and you feel like you've been kind of half accepted from the group,
yeah,
then it's like you're in.
Yeah,
it kind of happens really quickly, and then you're
all in.
Yeah.
Who was your favourite player growing up? I take it you didn't want to be a scrum half on the way up.
He loves a scrum half pass. Do you ever see him a few times in his career when he has to go in at 9? He loves like the proper follow through and everything.
Correct.
Yeah.
And they were all very good as well.
A few dive passes.
I had a load of guys I looked up to. That Munster pack in general were guys who I looked up to, you know, all of them. Even going back to, you know, guys like Galav and Claw before them, you know, all that age group, Langford, and then on to, you know, the O'Connells and the O'Callaghan's, you know, Marcus. Hayes was, you know, a very quiet guy, but someone who I looked up to hugely, you know.
Sure, they were the makings of the Irish pack, weren't they, for years?
Oh, yeah,
there was like 7 of 8
yeah,
of the Munsters. Yeah.
the only odd one out who was picked regularly for Ireland that wasn't starting in the Munster pack. Like, so it was, you know, you could have picked any of them for me. Yeah. Anthony
Foley had a huge impact on Irish rugby for you as a back rower. He coached you as a youngster as well, coached you as a leader in that Munster team.
Yep.
He must have been a huge influence in your career.
Huge influence, yeah. Yeah, and as I said, from, you know, a person that followed the group that he was in, obviously the leader of the whole group, you know, he would have been very important to me as a younger person. And then his first coaching gig was with us in the Munster 20s, which we won 3-0. And I've never seen a happier
Who kicked
person.
the penalty? Yeah, and it was against
one of the few
Ulster.
One of the few ones you got.
Yeah, straight in front.
Yeah,
big one. He loved it though, didn't he?
He
loved the fact we won 3-0 in like stadium. It was the grand opening, but like
it was the first
first game.
Yeah, first game in the new home park. Yeah,
and he loved it. Remember him being chuffed with, like, we
kind of came in half try, like, oh jeez, that wasn't great. Like,
yeah,
he was in his element.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, what a guy to have to look up to, and then to be coached by, you know, proper Munster legend.
Was he good craic as well? Because we only saw the official side of him, I suppose. He looked like a guy with a twinkle in his eye.
Oh yeah.
You could, that's an understatement.
Yeah.
Great craic. Loved the group and the lads and the camaraderie and you know, the crack in the dressing room and hearing stories, you know, of the younger lads.
Yeah,
you know,
he loved
hearing the stories,
living it back again. You know what I mean? Or,
yeah.
Good man. The older lads, yeah, you got a full education of obviously rugby and then the social side of it. Yeah, he had it all bases covered. In fairness to him.
Is that a part of rugby that people in the modern professional game forget about? The going out, the fun, the crack in the dressing room, that you need to play for each other.
The players or the supporters?
Players. The supporters see that. You know, it's different now. You hear the stories from the 70s and 80s, you know, all those guys, different vintage, and nowadays
is it not as
recovery.
It's not as extreme, but it's there, is it? I feel it is.
Like, if you're going to play for each other.
It was very important in the groups that we played. Yeah. You know what I mean? But
there's obviously
there's the side to it nowadays with you know, the random punter. It's very difficult because phones and you know, there's days you go out and you know, it might be 8 or 10 of you having a few pints, but you know, you notice people taking photos and stuff that, you know, they can be used in whatever ridiculous scenarios and or taken out of context, and it can be
it's too stressful. It creates paranoia, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I don't know. You develop a radar for.
Yeah.
You say you don't see it, but you'll always see a phone in the corner of your eye, won't you? And you're like, not that you'd be messing, but you're just like, where's this going to go? Where's it going to end up?
Yeah, exactly.
Has to be part of it.
You could just be taken out of context, or so there's a kind of an awareness there. But at the same time, like any team that we were part of, it was so important from even getting to know one another properly. Again, when you talk about, you know, playing for a group of people that you understand better, there's no better way of understanding and finding out what's going on with a fella when you're 6 or 8 points in, like, and you're having the crack. So.
We've obviously socialised with teams and bonded with teams. So I always think of 2018.
Yeah, the Grand Slam. Yeah,
we had, not to be saying we were out all the time, but we did have a lot of social events that probably weren't in the strict calendar, were they?
We had
that group was ones. Incredibly. That year we had as well, like November's Grand Slam, Australia. We were probably incredibly fit, but also had a ball.
We gave up both barrels from every angle, which was and you know, it's very important for groups. I'd always, you know, be fighting the corner with regard to, you know, we need to get out and.
We can be fit in the social,
fit in a social. And it doesn't have to be on the piss the whole time. It can be, you know what I mean, just doing stuff offside, changing the picture, having the crack, and you know, doing something different with people is very important.
What does leadership look like? Everybody talks about it in broad general terms, but day in, day out, in an Ireland camp, in that setup, a load of experienced players with world-class coaches, what is a leader like you doing?
Oh, you're, as Andy would always talk about, you're being yourself is the main thing. You're giving your opinion. You're never letting anything get in the way of performance. Is always paramount. He would always say, the main thing is for you to be playing well. That's paramount. But you're looking after guys. You're inputting in meetings. If you've concerns, you're going and voicing it. That's a big thing. There's lots of guys can you can, this thing is going wrong and that thing is going wrong, and it's easy to say it in a dressing room, but the hard thing is to walk into an office or to call a few guys aside and say, like, we need to sort this out, and that's important. But the main thing is, as I said, is performance on the pitch is what's expected most of. And the other stuff is hugely important, but performance is paramount.
Could you pick out a few leaders in your time with Munster Ireland or the Lions even, who you've taken stuff from, who've been a big influence on you?
Paul was always a huge influence on me. If I was to pick one person, he started it when I started playing for Munster. He put me under his wing big time with regard to leadership and I was picked to be the Munster captain at 23. I wasn't really the Munster captain. Paul was there for a few years, and if there was a decision to be made, I was always looking over my shoulder, or if there was, if I ever had questions, he was the first fellow I rang or went to see, and so he would have had a huge influence over my career playing, and then luckily came back to coach and had another huge influence over me. He really drives on our standards with regard to our breakdown. Obviously our set piece is very important for his point of view. Line out stuff which I would have enjoyed a huge amount learning off him, and his the standard setting that he put in there. So I learned a huge amount off lots of people, but he would have been, for me, the guy who I would have learned the most off.
Is he a future Ireland head coach?
I have no doubt he'd have ambition to be, and I have no doubt at all that he's more than capable of doing it. Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Rog has got to be in the mix there too.
Yeah, the two of them share it. It would be interesting to see. No, I agree, Pete, with Paulie. It's just he obviously helped Pete a lot as a captain, but he helped. We talked about Andrew last week, that he helped him and most young lads that came into the dressing room. He just had an eye out for, and like Pete as well, just he was brilliant with. I saw it with young lads, and I thought it got on well with young lads, but he went probably the extra mile to make sure everyone was developing, and because we all love Munster so much, but he just wanted to make sure these lads had the best chance with Munster and kind of fulfilling their dream right up until we finished. You'd see Pete and the group of us, but young lads love hanging around with Pete because you're still very much part of the squad, enjoys the crack, but I don't know, just a genuine leader rather than kind of, you see some lads trying to bluff it, but this man, he didn't. So those young boys will cherish those days on the pitch with O'Mahony and the celebrations after. he just led in all aspects of life.
Grin.
Yeah.
So you're a leader with Munster and Ireland, clearly. To go to the Lions and do the same, is that almost the acid test where you all have to come together against players you maybe have an idea about before? You have to put that all to the side and then become a guy they look to? Is that something you're very proud of?
I think the Lions is so special that you have no option but buying into what it stands for, and it's very clear to see what the Lions stands for. We all watched, particularly that 97 documentary that kind of would be the first thing I'd send someone to look at if they wanted to get into rugby and enjoy it and understand what it's about. And when you get selected, at the start you're all in because it's such a short window, and you obviously haven't spent a huge amount of time together, and you have no other option but giving yourself open yourself up to it, and you know, to be asked to captain that group was a very special honour of mine. I wouldn't call it the litmus test, because your bread and butter is your club and your country, but it was a huge honour to me to be asked to captain that
I
team.
remember when you were on. Did you know before you were named?
Just a few minutes, Gats asked me at the buffet and breakfast. I was
You kind of does things last minute.
Yeah.
I remember you after the team announcement. Remember, was it Drico came in and gave us the jerseys?
Yeah.
I remember because I didn't know you'd found out, but you were literally just sat in your chair for like 10 minutes after everyone had left the team room, and I just remember like that's an unbelievable moment for you.
Yeah. Drico presented us the jersey.
Yeah.
2017 in New Zealand, yeah.
Yeah. Happy days.
And then it doesn't go for it. Well, you get dropped after that.
Yeah, no,
I mean, that's the other brutal side of it.
Yeah, I didn't play well enough in the test, and that's how ruthless professional rugby is. That's you know, if you don't play well enough, as I said.
That seemed harsh, though, wasn't it? You still think?
No, I don't think I play well enough.
We as teammates were like, we just thought it was a bit strange, but.
Yeah, look, you could have all the arguments in the world, but it doesn't matter if bollocks now. You know what I mean? But I know myself, I didn't play well enough that day, and so I found it hard to argue with anyone to not be selected again. But it did hurt, like, don't get me wrong. You know, we've been in plenty of dressing rooms where we've lost, and all you want to do is, if you could get the chance to play it the day after, no matter how sore you were, you want to go back out and put the jersey in a better place. So to not get a chance to do that after the fact was something that hurt, but that's sport, like, that's professional sport.
Sorry, it was tough though. Were you the only? Was it the only change?
Myself and George Cruz were the two.
Just two, yeah. Which was.
Yep.
So we didn't play that well as a team.
Funny, that was another player Eddie Jones mentioned as an absolute legend, George
Cruz.
Cruz.
Yeah, he's a good man.
He's a fan of it, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure if you talked to him longer, he would have mentioned me.
That's the side people don't see. They don't see the sitting in your hotel room having to kind of reflect on those kind of things. They see the highs, they see the you know, the medals over the years and stuff. But in terms of the mental pressure, is a career that long, you got to be pretty resilient.
Well, you certainly acquired it over time. It was tougher at the start. I think, you know, we were probably a lot harder on ourselves when we were younger, I thought. You know, again, coming into a team that had won, and then you're not winning, and every year the goal is to win the European Cup, and it's not happening. Certainly the first few years I found very, very difficult, and was very hard on myself, but I think over time you become a bit more resilient to it. You get a bit more perspective when different things happen to you throughout your career, and you know, you get to a point where you accept things, even though it's very, very difficult. You become better at accepting things, because, you know, as we say, nobody's died, like, even though
it was hard, wasn't it? With Munster, I felt it was hard because you said it. Yeah. Trying to win the European Cup every year and putting it up in the main goal, and then having to. That's probably the part that'll hurt us, is accepting that probably wasn't the realistic goal after a while, and we had to be like, right, get to a certain stage, and then we'll reassess. I suppose after taking the baton from the other lads, it was probably hard. I found, well, you've spoken about, I know you found it hard too, but you know, that pressure was. Yeah,
it's difficult, and
as a youngster as well, like, you're probably like, I didn't win the European Cup. Yeah,
big time
failure.
I consider, you know, my Munster career not to be successful, like, you know. Now at the same time, I had incredible days with some of the greatest days out of all time. You know, unfortunately they weren't finals, but incredible moments. And I think the run that we made to the 23 URC, I think, I don't know, is there many teams could have done that, being away from home 7 weeks in a row, 8 weeks in a row, to go back to back, to be away from home that much. You know, you look at sport in general across the last 10 years, the amount of semis, quarters that are won away from home is tiny figures, and to do it with the manner we did, to need a certain amount of points to get into their playoffs, and then to win them all,
Made it hard
all being
ourselves,
away from
as
home
always.
is something I'm very, very proud of, and it was a big relief.
Relief, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I was going to say, it was just we had been in South Africa for the end of the league. We played Stormers and Sharks, and then
Back
we
to
came
back.
home, away again to Glasgow, away to Leinster, and then away for the final.
Yeah. We'd spent
We
that was
loved
our
being in South
fourth week, I
Africa.
think.
We did.
That we'd spent there in about 8 weeks.
Yeah.
People forget home advantage is huge.
Massive, massive.
Why is that?
Comfort,
The comfort
the whole
of
week of it, isn't it?
Yeah, the knowing, the controlling everything. It's harder to win away from home. It's 100%. It's between supporters, between everything. It's just a difficult thing to do.
So was that one of the biggest achievements of the career then? So many
Absolutely.
big moments. That up there?
100%. Yeah. And as I said, the manner, the way we did it, I think, very, very proud of that.
So satisfying, I found it,
Yeah.
that run.
Yeah, it was great.
And we were tight, weren't we? Because we were away so much together. The team was.
Yeah, we were
was
tight. We were
really
spending
tight.
loads of time on the road.
Yeah. Proper old school tour.
You've small things, or like big things, obviously, but Crowley kicks the drop goal. When you say you're finding it tough in the Aviva, like, you know what I mean, not an easy place to go and play Leinster, and Jack, who's 22, drops a goal, and it's
The
easy.
Raj celebration.
Yeah. It's easy to look back and say, we felt like we were going to win from there. Even the final, it was real nip and tuck, and we didn't play well, and then Gav has a great block down, and we go and score, and it was great. Good moments and good memories. Yeah,
Good night out in Cape Town.
we had a great night out.
We did indeed.
We gave it both barrels.
Both barrels again from
Yeah.
the front, from the leader.
Yeah, leading from every aspect. The game's taken you all over the world. Where have the toughest places been to go? You've had some tough days with Ireland, obviously, World Cups away and stuff, but in terms of a tough venue to...
Hamilton, I would say, is
Yeah.
top of your head. 16-0 to the All Blacks down there.
Yeah, record lost to Ireland. So that would definitely be up there. Of course, going away to New Zealand is always incredibly difficult. I think South Africa, obviously, anywhere in South Africa is a tough place to go and play. The grounds like Twickenham and the Millennium Stadium are incredible grounds and tough places to win. Again, percentages of winning away from home in the Six Nations is tiny as well. So, they're some of the days you remember the most are the away wins.
Do you ever have a stadium that you found it, as you said, Twickenham there, that you found it hard to perform in? I had a thing with Twickenham for the first few times I went there. I felt completely
Cold there.
overwhelmed by it.
Yeah.
It was Twickenham. It was like no other ground. It was just like
Huge concrete.
I don't know what it
place.
was. I just felt I couldn't play well there for a while, and then we eventually won. But do you have any ground where you're just intimidated by?
Ravenhill.
We're being serious. Yeah.
I was never intimidated by them. I always found the Millennium very special. I don't know, was it the 06 thing and 08 at Munster or what, but it was a special place to me. I love playing in the Murrayfield. I used to love going over there.
Just
They love
him.
there.
That was the time you were you're famous. You were booed off, isn't it? The only fella to be booed off
A rugby pitch.
Yeah.
Which
It's a badge of honour.
I loved that as well. Yeah,
100%.
loved it. So there was grounds you loved, but there was grounds where we weren't successful either. So obviously 16-0 in New Zealand was a harrowing enough one. I was with Dunners O'Callaghan the other night, and we were talking about that loss, and I said, "Jeez, I thought I'd never played for Ireland again after." And he was sitting next to me, and he said, "Well, I didn't."
That's true, isn't it? He actually didn't.
He never again played for Ireland. Yeah.
Oh.
I was like, geez, sorry to hear that, kid. But
luckily we were young, and
Luckily,
we were given another chance because that was grim.
Yeah.
And you won a series over there.
It shows how far that genuinely that Irish journey we've been on to go from that to not hanging on, but going down and winning a series is kind of is really pleasing for me. And I know it's the same for you.
Oh yeah, that was probably the highlight of my career. If I was to pick a 2 or 3 week block or one game, it would be one of them over there. It was.
It's so hard to do, like, isn't it?
No, it was never done before, and it won't be done again because all those 3 series tests are gone. So, proper badge of honour that was, and it's kind of ironic at the moment because people are asking me about the current Irish team and what's going on. And it's funny the state of mind that an Irish rugby supporter has gone from me starting my career, or say even 5 or 6 years before that, to now saying, oh, there must be something big wrong with Ireland if we've lost to the All Blacks, like, you know what I mean?
It's true, isn't it? That's the feeling.
We got 3-0, we got absolutely hockeyed over there. We'd never beaten them. You broke the mould in 15 or 16, and then all of a sudden we beat them 5 out of 10 times, or you know what I mean? And all of a sudden now when we lose to them, people are going, oh, there's a big problem with the Irish rugby team. Like,
it's going to put pressure on the current lads a bit more, isn't it? They'll be aware of that as well, which is going to be hard.
It is,
or a good thing.
It's. I think it should be a bit of perspective from Irish rugby fans in general. Like, calm down a bit. Like, they can be hysterical at times. Like, you know what I mean? And part of that is the media. But again,
not guilty.
It's you.
They're a very good group, so they'll be fine.
Give them a minute to breathe.
Give them a break.
Well, I suppose the other thing as well, if a team need to get it right, if you're going to target a World Cup and Ireland are going to get over this quarter-final hoodoo, as they, everybody likes to talk about, you need to be patient and try people and let things go wrong. You see New Zealand don't tend to care what happens 2 years out from the World Cup in an autumn.
Yeah,
if we're focusing on something, do you need to give the players and the management a bit of space to fail almost?
Yeah, I think I'm sure they'd care about the 2 years out, but you look at guys who need time in a jersey, like our out halves need time, you know what I mean, to run a team. Like, you can't have guys going in, he didn't play last week, so he needs to be guys need 5 and 6 games at a go to run a team,
especially
and then you assess, especially
so
at 10, different other positions 100%, but and obviously it's an obvious one with Sam and Jack, like, but other guys are the same, like, Tommy O'Brien's, guys like this getting an early shots, and they need a bit of time, they need a few caps, you need a good lash of caps to understand what a guy is really about and where he can improve, of course, and time in the jersey, is more important than any amount of sessions and even provincial games. You need time in a jersey.
Sam and Jack are like, someone was saying it the other day, they're learning in front of full stadiums. Like, they're so young still, like, you know what I mean, and they're brilliant players, but they have been, we were playing AIL, and you look at Johnny, who was playing AIL until mid-20s.
Until he was about 33.
You know what I mean? And so he got to make all his mistakes or his learnings, like with smaller crowds. So I actually feel for those. Now they're so far on their development now, but like at the very beginning, they were.
I think Johnny was 26 when he really
he took off. Settled genuine lad without messing. Yeah, settled
into that 10 jersey. Like, I mean, those lads are still. Well, Sam is 6 years off that or something. Yeah, so Jack is still a few years. Yeah, but
they're both. Yeah.
How important is it to have Johnny in the setup now then, with all that experience? A guy who's had to do it that way and become the great that he became.
Hugely important, and I'm not surprised. Andy was quick to get him back in. He's an unbelievable wealth of knowledge, combined with being so competitive, and having a rugby knowledge, to that wouldn't be rivaled.
Yeah.
So people like that are very, very important to the longevity of Irish rugby, I think.
Where would he be in the scale of best players you played with?
He's got to be one of the best, if not the very best. I was lucky. We were lucky to play geez, nearly all my career I played with him and your man here. So
to the point you nearly forget how good he was. I thought
Yeah.
you never didn't know how good he was, but like when you finish how people talk about him, and then you think back of like things he saw and the way he expected and his ability as an athlete, but like the way he saw the game was phenomenal, I thought.
Yeah, different to anyone else.
So,
and
he was driving the bus, wasn't he? Really, like
100%.
Right up there.
Just quality and relentless competitiveness.
Anyone you found it brutally difficult to play against?
He would have been one of them. Yeah.
The Munster
Talk to the back three guys about how he'd be watching them as the ball is coming out of a ruck, like trying to figure out or trying to fool them whether he's going to kick or play, and a guy like that is handful to defend from a team point of view, and luckily enough we spent most of our years playing with him. So, but there's loads of guys where we played against some of the best of all time. So it's hard to pick one or two. But
the kind of player you were, you played with an edge.
Yeah.
Anyone out there who you really liked to go head to head with?
There was lots of guys who were very, very difficult to navigate. One of the hardest fellas I've ever played against was Shane Jennings. Yeah, just unbelievably tough, hard bastard. He wasn't.
Yeah. And all the older lads would have spoken like that about him as well. Like just
hard
nightmare to play with, train against, play against.
And you go into the McCaws and these kind of people of the world who are just out and out world class.
Kieran Reid up there for you.
Kieran Reid,
playing against him and being like, he's operating on another level.
He was like a 12 who could play in the second row and the back row. He'd skills, his offload, he then ran the line out, his athletic ability, his ball carry, close to being one of the most complete athletes I reckon of all time. I could sit here all day talking about people like that.
It's very rare, well not rare, but you'd see someone live and be playing against them and be like, whoa. I remember that series we lost 3-0 in New Zealand. I remember that first game.
Remember
that
he
short
scored
kickoffs, those Carter would kick that short kick off to him, and he got every one of them and nearly scored off.
I was practicing all week.
we knew it was coming as well.
Yeah, we knew it was coming. Like he's going to come here. Carter was kicking those flat drop offs just on the 10, and I remember Gert Small and myself practicing. Like he gave me the best lifter.
Get one of them.
He gave me the best lifter, and I remember one of the first ones I went up. I was there perfect. Up for the ball, and he literally just appeared in front of me, and someone cover tackled him at the corner flag. Was it you?
No, I came in like Tommy Boy. I finished off the tackle.
He was stopped literally as you went over the line. I was there. Oh my God!
So you've left Ireland in a better place than you found it, perhaps. Ireland, Munster, and everything else. Is that a nice way to think about it?
I think we certainly changed. Our team with Ireland was the most successful team of all time. There's no other way of putting it there. That's not me being arrogant. It's me giving you the facts. We won a huge amount. I've spoken to you how we've changed the perception and the thought of Irish rugby's supporters base. The Irish rugby team are expected to beat everyone now, and that wasn't the case when we first started. So I'm very proud of that, but the Munster side of it, probably not to the same level. But again, that's certainly not down to the lack of trying. But that's the way life rolled in that side of it, and you have to be able to accept that as well.
And just a final one. Is it great for you two to share that journey together, virtually from schoolboys the whole way through?
Yeah. And look at his medals and trophy or his memorabilia there, and I probably have a very similar one ready to put together myself, because we've said it before around special milestones for ourselves. We've literally done everything together. We've shared all those highs and lows, nearly game for game. I know we played with lads for a while, but I think we've kind of nearly cloned each other's careers
Yeah.
to a point, so it's been fun.
You lived the schoolboy dream, eh?
Absolutely.
Yeah, who would have thought of
Who would have thought of
looking across at each other on new subs?
giving to each
For the
other the
Senior
middle
Cup
finger?
final.
Yeah.
Still both fresh faced at 36.
Well, I don't know
Yeah,
about that.
exact same age. Exact same age.
Peter O'Mahony, thanks for joining us in the
Thank
Iron
you.
Rugby Social.
Thanks for coming
Thank you,
on.
Peter.
Cheers, man.
Much
It's been
appreciated.
great. Lots more rugby content on the BBC Sport website and BBC Sounds, and we'll be back for the next one.